This one's bizarre. Just a few days after Trump got asked about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell and said, I don't know, interesting. I haven't heard that name in so long. Maybe I'll ask the DOJ about that. Insane. You then have this reporting about the prison that Ghislaine Maxwell is in. Walking into her cell and she was missing. No. No. And there were 6 different nooses. No, I'm kidding. Not serious. So she's alive from all we know. But it went on lockdown. The prison, this like bougie prison camp that she's at now, the minimum security place in Bryan, Texas. And they had to put all the prisoners in their cells when they're supposed to be doing their outdoor time and do a lockdown so that some visitor could come meet with Ghislaine. Which, if it's just, I don't know if this is how the prison is, but I thought the prisons were like, you go on the phone and your loved one sits there and like you put your hand on the glass while you're talking to them. Maybe it's not because it's such a minimum security one, but it must be, right? Someone high profile, if they're having to shut down, putting the prison on lockdown, I should say, so that none of the prisoners could be around when someone comes in. Maybe it was Epstein visiting her. Ghislaine Maxwell's unexpected arrival at a cushy Texas prison this August has left other inmates unsettled, with some claiming it seems that she receives preferential treatment. Maxwell's arrival at the Bryan Federal Prison Camp, a minimum security facility known for its relatively relaxed environment, has drastically disrupted the daily lives of fellow inmates. On a weekend in mid-August, not long after her arrival. Okay, I want to correct the record. This just got reported, but this must have been before Trump said that statement that we'll go and remind ourselves of. Just, I should note, a few weeks after is when it got reported. It must have happened before he said that, which is even more weird. On a weekend in mid-August, not long after her arrival, inmates at the prison were forced to stay indoors during their usual outdoor time, as Maxwell met with several visitors in the prison camp's chapel. Oh my gosh, this is such a movie. It's such a sick, sick movie. The arrival of the 63-year-old Jeffrey Epstein. No, 63-year-old former Jeffrey Epstein associate. Sorry, I'm having way too much fun with this. Who was convicted in 2021 of trafficking underage girls for the by then deceased financier, has led to more frequent lockdowns, more armed guards on campus, and other changes at the prison. I'll read a little bit more, but again, there's clearly already visitation options, and they don't lock down and put all the prisoners back in their cells when just Deborah, the, dog abuser or whoever else is there, has a visitor. But when Ghislaine has one, or this particular one, they did. Maybe they're not high profile, but why is she getting that preferential treatment? And then it does make you wonder. That feels like something if, Vance or someone were going to visit that had to lock it all down. It's kind of like when I went to the White House event back in the last administration, and just for like Hunter Biden to walk in the hallway where people were standing, we all had to go get pushed into a room and just stand there while he walked. It's like that vibe of, I totally just found a stupid excuse to tell that story. So dumb. I didn't even mean to. I'm sorry. That was weird. It was a Christmas party. Whatever. I mean, it's not even a big deal. I went twice. It's nothing. I'm actually not going to do it again. I don't want to do it again. It's weird. I don't like hodgepodging with the people I'm supposed to talk about, So that's a correction. Anyways, but lockdowns like that, it's kind of that vibe. That the normal operations of wherever they're at has to be frozen so that someone high profile could come in. But maybe it's just anyone. I guess there's Real Housewives of Salt Lake City stars that are at this same prison. That's random, but fun. A majority of the inmates held there have committed white-collar crimes and face shorter sentences. So it's not made. It's actually specifically was prohibited for her to be transferred there by DOJ rules, but then they broke those rules to send her there because of how minimum security is. And then it's weird to bring her somewhere with less security, but then go get more security to help protect her. I mean, obviously she shouldn't be killed because maybe information and because of death, but that's not justice, and maybe she'll eventually reveal more info. but still, it's just a weird logistical choice. While we continue through this, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button. It is free, but it supports the work that we do. Now, let me remind you with that in mind of what Trump recently said about her.
His term today, Mr. President.
Say it.
The Supreme Court is back and said that they rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're...
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So, but I'll speak. I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of...
I don't really have to give the take again, but he does know of her and has heard about her recently. He's been asked about her recently, so that's not real. And why you would even leave the door open with someone like her is insane. And the spillover from Trump's cover-up here is causing even Ron DeSantis to have protesters like this.
Hey, what's up? Hey, stop.
Is that your fucking legacy?
Get out of here.
You bow down to
Get
a
out of
fucking
here.
pedophile.
Get out of here.
You're a fucking pedophile.
Get out of here.
Donald Trump.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Fuck you all.
So you used to have the closed circuit. So you would go.
That's the most DeSantis handling of a heckler I've ever seen. How do you find a way while someone's screaming at you that you're a pedo, which again, we have no evidence that DeSantis is, but the other allegation was that you're covering for one. Regardless, it's a heckler, okay? The heckler's screaming that. How do you not come up with a more creative way to deal with it than, get out of here, get out of here. Hey, get out of here. He just said the same thing over and over. That's like your moment to shine. Whenever someone starts heckling you, you go, oh yeah, well, And there's all these viral clips of Obama back whenever he was president and he would get heckled and he would like turn it into this cool moment. And even Trump will go back to mommy. And it's dumb, but it's kind of funny. And then DeSantis can't even have a moment of charisma. Get out of here. Hey, get out of here. That's all he could. And then he goes, we used to have closed circuit television. Just never a moment of charisma. Now, remember, the Ghislaine Maxwell, they're shutting down the prison so she can meet with people. Extra security is coming right after we learned, that news is coming right after we learned of CBS's new investigation that got access to more photos. And we just covered this, but I need to play it again because I just can't. I'm struggling to process. All weekend I've been thinking about the story we did on this, and it still hasn't made any more sense.
The photos were taken by New York's Office of Chief Medical Examiner, and they raise more questions than they answer. Epstein's body was removed before investigators arrived, and Epstein's cell, experts say, should have been treated.
Okay, point one. Huh? This is what Jaden did off camera. Huh? Huh? Before investigators arrived, they moved the body? I've watched enough true crime shows to know that it's crucial that two officers raise the little police tape as the detective walks under it and walks up to a body and goes, wow, that was a bad night. As he looks down, or she, at the dead body. And then as a viewer, so that was note one from the CBS investigation, which is that before investigators arrived, the body had been moved, which is just out of a fictional movie. Because it would be like, well, that would... I don't know a ton. All I know is from, like I said, true crime stuff. But that doesn't sound right. Because there's really important things you can learn from seeing the body. I'm sure they took pictures. Did they though? I don't think they did of Epstein, there, because they don't know which noose he used, and there were multiple. Also weird.
There are 90 photos in all, showing a cell strewn with blankets and strips of fabric tied to the bed and window grate. Items moved around, including a mattress, which is seen on the floor in an earlier photo, but appears on the bed in a later one. Looking at the metadata, that second photo appears to have been taken at 11:02 a.m. If that's accurate, the scene had been disturbed hours before FBI investigators arrived. Investigators also found several possible nooses, but did not conclusively identify the one that killed him. What do you make of all these pictures?
All right, then we'll watch this guy. But why all those photos? Why does he have like 12 outfits in his cell? Like, there's a pile of orange jumpsuits. Hey, here's enough fabric to hang yourself 12 times. Don't do it. We're going to be really mad at you, Jeff, if you try to kill yourself. Here's 12 outfits for you.
Killed him. What do you make of all these pictures?
I make a crime scene gone wrong.
Herman Weisberg is a former NYPD detective turned private investigator. Does it look to you like this was investigated as a suicide or as a murder?
To me, this looks like they took it at face value that this was a suicide.
While our
Here's what's also concerning is I'm not thinking anything will, not hoping anything will, but if something were to happen to Ghislaine Maxwell, just let me put it this way. Please, if a series, I will keep and continue being as factual as I can in assessing these, because crazy things do happen. Weird events do happen, especially when a lot of media attention is given. You notice a lot of little weird things. And so, very plausible, Epstein did indeed kill himself. But the more that we learn about that, or about the handling of him in general, or of Ghislaine Maxwell, the more you start feeling like you're going insane. And I will go full conspiracy zone if Ghislaine, if it's like, oh, shoot, we had banned her from the puppy play time, which was a real thing. They get to, that's how fun the prison is. They get to engage with puppies, but then she doesn't get to because of her. But then we decided actually we would let her. So we put the prison on lockdown. No one was there and just dogs. And dog ate her. Oh, shoot. Oh, damn. There's no cameras. Then I'm done. But already, we don't even need any speculative claims to know that the DOJ broke their own policy, or the Bureau of Prisons, to transfer her to this minimum security, and that things like what I just reported to you are happening. And that's not how you treat this notorious sex trafficker. It is how you treat someone that you're kind of trying to have a favorable relationship with for whatever reason. And this was the last part that I said on the show, which is why I'll show it to you, and it just keeps running through my head.
Well, he's dead, so...
Hey, Bill, shut up for a second. Why wouldn't you jot it down somewhere? Like, hey, it was this noose. But there's just multiple... Also, who does that? It's like someone looking at the wigs and picking which wig they're going to wear for the day. He, like, made 4 nooses and was like, which one do I want to use for my death? Something's weird, and I don't like us asserting things that we don't know. So I'm not asserting anything other than the Barron point. I'm not asserting anything. We can't be conspiracy theorists, but we can say, what the hell happened to Epstein?
What the hell happened to
Epstein? And then I go on to give my caveat that this is not making light of serious events. It's just processing them the best that we can. So that's the other part. I kind of started a little bit too late there, but there were multiple nooses. So there's multiple outfits, multiple nooses, which doesn't even seem murderous either. What kind of murderer who's trying to make it look like a suicide makes multiple nooses? Like that doesn't fit either. So it's just confusing. But it's kind of all at once. We're getting Trump's like, yeah, I don't know. I'll talk to the DOJ. Oh, maybe we'll partner. Woohoo, who cares? And then that reporting about us learning more about the questionable circumstances of the suicide. And then she's being treated preferentially. It's sick. Something sick is going on. And I don't even know. I saw a few people have now done segments like, could we even trust when these documents are released? And that's what I've been, Cole and I were talking about this the other day. What are we supposed to, I mean, unless it gets released and there really are bombshells there, then it would be all right. This is probably legitimate. But like the time that has lapsed, I get that Congress with this discharge position, which they should get on board with, and if Mike Johnson will just swear in Adelita Grijalva, they would be able to do it, and Republicans today could release it if they would just vote for it. But that should happen. And do we believe the Trump administration would go, oh, well, darn, Congress said we have to. Here you go. Because how would we know that we got everything? It's just making me feel like I'm a crazy person.